So I'm getting settled back up here. We'd like to run a video for you to introduce our next award. It's narrated by Purdue Associate Athletics Director Calvin Williams, focusing on the life and accomplishments of Leroy Keys, a true Boilermaker legend. And I'm getting word from the back that we were going to skip the video for now due to technical difficulties. And we're going to move ahead with our Chapter Legends Award. It's been given 7 times since 2012. It's sponsored by the Purdue Alumni Association. This just gives Matt Folk more time. The Legends Award will be presented today posthumously to the family of Leroy Keys, and here to help us with the award is a longtime friend of Leroy's, Matt Folk, who is now president and CEO of the Purdue for Life Foundation and also the Purdue Alumni Association. Also, Jeff Brom, our head football coach, will come on up along with Matt. Welcome, gentlemen.
I give quite a few of these speeches, but this one I'm going to read just because there's so many details and facts involved with Leroy's life. Leroy was a great football player and even better person. Few have left a greater legacy on the field than Leroy Keys did at Purdue. For his lifelong impact to the game of football and his exceptional leadership qualities, Keys is named posthumously after passing away on April 15th as this year's recipient of the Legends Award, sponsored by the Purdue for Life Foundation. A throwback era of two-way players, Leroy did it all for the Boilermakers in 1960. NFF's chairman, Archie Manning, said he was a great ambassador for the game throughout his entire life, making impact in West Lafayette and the Chicago area, where he became a valued participant in many NFF chapter events. A true Boilermaker icon, Keys remains the only 2-time consensus All-American in school history. He finished 3rd and 2nd in balloting for the Heisman Trophy as a halfback his junior and senior seasons, respectively. 6'3", 199-pound Keys set school records for career touchdowns with 37, points 222, and all-purpose yards 3,757. He was voted all-time greatest player as part of the 100-year anniversary of Purdue football in 1987, and he was an inaugural member of the Purdue Intercollegiate Athletics Hall of Fame in 1994. And I'm happy to let you know that a few days before Leroy passed, we were able to let him know that the Intercollegiate Hall of Fame will now be named after Leroy, so it's the Leroy Keys Purdue Intercollegiate Hall of Fame. The Boilermakers went 25-6 during Keys' 3-year career, including a victory in the '67 Rose Bowl over Southern Cal, of which I'd like to give him a hard time that I was not even born yet. Keys, who played high school football for George Washington Carver in high school in Newport News, Virginia, broke in as a sophomore playing defensive back the Boilermakers against Notre Dame, where he picked off a fumble in midair and ran 95 yards to score, which remains the longest fumble returned by a Boilermaker. As a junior, Keys scored 19 touchdowns, 13 rushing, and 6 receiving to set the Purdue season record, which still stands today, and led the nation with a school record of 114 points en route to being honored as the Big Ten Conference Most Valuable Player. The following year, he became the first Boilermaker to rush for 1,000 yards in a season and was selected to the 1968 East-West Shrine Game. In addition to the season touchdown record, Keys remains the Purdue score record holding for rushing, averaging a season of 6.6 yards per carry in '67, and a career 5.88 yards. He ranks 3rd in total touchdowns, 5th in rushing touchdowns with 29, 6th in points, 9th in all-purpose yards, 11th in rushing yards, and 19th in rushing attempts, 356. His 1,870 all-purpose yards as a junior were the standard for 40 years until Dorian Bryant topped it in 2007. Nicknamed the Golden Mr. Do-Everything, Keys' career statistics include 2,094 rushing yards, 80 interceptions, 8 touchdown passes among 12 completions, 4 interceptions as a defensive halfback, and 25.8 yard kickoff return average. He also handled kickoff duties. Keys was selected by the Philadelphia Eagles with the 3rd overall pick in the 1967 National Football League draft. A running back and safety, he played for the Eagles from 69 to 72 and for the Kansas City Chiefs in 73 before injuries curtailed his career. He had 6 interceptions and 3 fumbles in 1971. A desegregation specialist for the Philadelphia School District for 16 years. Keys returned to Purdue as running backs coach under Joe Tiller in 95 and 96. Keys subsequently served as an administrative assistant for the football program under Joe Tiller from 97 to 99, and then a member of the John Purdue Club staff, retiring in 2011. Keys was an active member of the Joe Tiller chapter of the National Football Foundation, frequently attending the annual golf outings and honors dinners. Keys has influenced many with his quick wit, huge smile, engulfing laugh, and caring spirit. Leroy was a father figure to many, important change agent and ambassador for Purdue University, and most importantly, a great friend to all that knew him. Indeed, he was the golden Mr. Do-Everything to all of us. Leroy was born February 18th, 47, and is survived by his wife, Monica, and his children, Raymond, Jacqueline, Cortland, and Colin. Thank you.
Is Coach Brom arrived yet, Coach? We're a little bit ahead of schedule, and Coach was going to be part of this presentation, but we'll go ahead, and I'll be Coach Brom's stand-in.
We'll bring Cortland and Colin up. Call them up. Cortland will go first. There you go. Get your picture, fellas. Cortland. Cortland, I know your dad loved the game of golf. You're pretty good at it. What did he teach you about golf and life?
Realistically, he taught me a lot of stuff about golf, about football, about sports, about life. But golf specifically, he's a big influence in the career, being a golf professional now. He was big in motivating me to just stay pursue those dreams. There's not a lot of African-American people in the industry. So in the state of Alabama, I'm one of 4 African-American golf professionals now. So it's all about being a trailblazer and leaving an impact and legacy.
Now, for any golfers heading down that way, where are you?
I am in Huntsville with the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, so please come visit. We have a big Boilermaker influence because we have NASA there, big engineering town, so there's a lot of black and gold and a lot of boiler ups.
Awesome. I want to talk to your brother, Colin, for a moment. And Colin, tell us about, I know you love cars, you and I have talked about that, but tell me about your dad's influence on you as you saw his life.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad was recruited here to Purdue in '67, kind of before you got these NCAA rules on what could bring somebody somewhere. So my dad's first car happened to be a 1966 Mustang Fastback that he may or may not have been lured to Purdue with.
Wow.
I mean, among other things, but no.
There's a first in this banquet every year. That's a first.
Well, I mean, no, but he, as Cortland mentioned, he really was the type of individual to say it doesn't matter what you want to do, as long as you want to do it, go do it. And so I was really wanting to talk a little bit about how important my dad felt like scholarship and athletics was, and the important role that coaches and teachers play in the lives of students. So I know that there's lots of coaches, teachers, and those interested individuals here, but coaches and teachers in particular have a huge impact on how far their students go. And my dad, I know a lot of the times wouldn't say it, but he'd come to Harrison games after Cortland and I were gone just because he wanted to support students. And I think that all of us have the opportunity to keep doing that, and it's very, very important that we do so.
I feel like for as great of an athlete as your dad was, so many of us that are younger think of him more as a mentor.
Absolutely. I got to call him Dad, but there were people who got to call him Uncle Dad or Coach, even if they didn't play for him. And we all have the ability to kind of be that type of person as well. Even though he may not be here, all of us can step in and fill those shoes for him.
Cortland, did they offer you a Mustang to join that golf club?
No, sir. No, sir.
It was worth a shot. Talk about how you want your dad to be remembered.
You know what? Colin really hits it on the head. how we want him to be remembered, but those shoes are really big. We want people to know we know he's still here with all of us, especially in this room. Cole and I had the honor of presenting him an award on this stage at NFF dinner a couple years ago, and so with his legacy, it's going to carry on just because it's in all of our hearts, the love he gives. You know, you follow the path that God has set us on. He led us to this point in the path, and we must carry it on past then.
And Cola, let's say hi to Mom since she's out in the audience.
Yeah, my mom is over there. She's the best, man. I mean, she, though sometimes Cortland and I go around West Lafayette and it's, oh, you're Leroy's son, oh, you're Leroy's son, this, that, the other. We get a lot of, oh, you're Monica's son. And so I want her to know that she, those, we oftentimes celebrate Dad, Mom's just as important. And I also don't want to forget mentioning my oldest brother, who he just moved here during COVID, actually, which was fantastic. This is my brother Raymond. And he is a spitting image of my father, so it's great that we get to have him around too.
Guys, thanks so much for being here. Congratulations on the award. Let's give them a round of applause.
And now we know why the NCAA rule book expanded and expanded and expanded since the 1960s, right? Thank you, guys. And I do want to apologize to Coach Brom. He is here on time. We just moved ahead of the schedule because of that video that didn't run properly. So we will have Coach Brom involved in the next part of the program. So he is on time for his segment. So. Also, I guess I was remiss to let the Keys boys go back to their seats, but if they would like to come back up and be part of this next little presentation, sorry, Cortland and Colin, come back up. And also Renee Thomas, come on up. Renee is from the Purdue Black Cultural Center, and we'll have them all come to the stage. As mentioned earlier today, we were talking about young Lee's great work in the last year raising some money for various charities and good causes. One of those charities that Lee assisted with was the Black Cultural Center on behalf of and in honor of Leroy Keys. Recognizing Leroy's great running skills, Lee Young has requested that the Joe Tiller chapter of the National Football Foundation donate $2,094 to the Black Cultural Center, $1 for each yard that Keys rushing totals during his explosive career in the late 60s. Many of the items sold through Young Lee's successful auctions were items pertaining to Leroy and were donated by Dave Statler. Renee, I'll let the Keys brothers hand you this check for $2,094.